unless you're a senior, or even if you're a senior. Our spring semester final was attending the graduation ceremony.
Oh, Jesus.
There's literally no one in server.
Nope, I just left.
Yeah, and it's 11 o'clock. Usually there's shit ton of people. It's because it's Wednesday. But
Gotta be.
at least you guys wasn't in Buckeye, and at least this ain't Buckeye, because if it was Buckeye, you'd be sitting in a chat right now talking. And next thing you know, you'd get pinged and it says hump day, and it'd be some random guy pegging some random guy or something like that. Pictures.
Fuck.
Yeah, there was a guy in there. His name was Mayhem,
Mm,
and that's all he did was post that. And he was a sheriff. He was the sheriff, and he was the Warren County sheriff, and that's what he would do all the time. His name was Johnny Sins, Sheriff Johnny Sins. Of
yeah.
course, after the porn
So
star.
my old server, it was so the way I found this server actually is I went on Google, right? And I was like best 5M servers or best vMenu 5M servers, I think is what I Googled. And Washington State, which was my old server, was #1 and Badger was #2. Well, Washington State was a bunch of fucking bullshit. They didn't have a sheriff, they didn't have police chief, they didn't have a colonel, like none of that.
Right.
They had as long as you were LEO certified, you had every fucking department you wanted to patrol in available to you. And they had a emergency service director, which was fucking acted as the sheriff and sheriff, chief, and colonel all at the same time. And he was a fucking piece of shit. Well, I made it to assistant ES director, which is like the O2 of every department pretty much. And this dude just started being an absolute fucking cuck. I went in server and he was like, "Don't tell me how to do my job." I was like, "I'm not telling you how to do your job. I'm telling you that you're fucking up. You're fucking 90% of the community is left because of you." And I don't want that. And so he fucking got me fired and got me banned from the fucking community because I was under uh undermining him. He's like,
Jesus.
he's my assistant, and so the funny part is the ES directors literally have no say. Like literally the only say they had was fucking who got hired into departments, but the administrative director is the one who had to fire him from the departments. So he had like no say in anything that fucking happened. And one day I was like, "Hey man, your suspect's not cuffed and he's got a knife in his waistband." He's like, "Don't tell me how to do my job." I was like, "All right, well, get stabbed then." And he didn't like that I told him to get stabbed, so he reported me. So I came here, and it's a lot better fucking server. I mean, there's still some bullshit, but it's nothing like that.
Well, it's kind of like I mentioned and chatted up that one day when the one guy was like, "So how is the server here?" And I'm like, "Well, every once in a while you get the trolls, but we deal with them quite well."
Right,
And
they're automatically out. So Washington State roleplay, they weren't realistic.
hmm.
Like they had these fucking concept cars put into server, like the fucking Mercedes that all the wheels are balls, and it's like it can move side to
What?
side. And, yeah, like they had concept cars put in server, and they advertised that they were an ultra realistic server. And I was like, all right, well, I mean, it's a realistic car. It's actually been made, but there's only like one in existence. It's a concept. And
Right.
fucking there was a day where we had like 15 civs driving around in these Mercedes, and I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not interacting with any of them. And fucking server owner got mad because he was one of those people. And yeah, they just they got power hungry really quick when it came to me fucking talking to them about how shit should be running. Which, like, the server owner, I'm not gonna be a dickhead to him. Like, you're the server owner. However you want this to play out, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up so they had a board of directors. So they had they had owner, co-owner, and fucking uh, staff administration, basically a staff department head, so pretty much operations management, but not fucking a little bit more on the fucking dickhead side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could never just sit down and have a conversation with him.
That's how a
And
lot of servers is.
but they were all fucking power hungry and shit. And when I called them out to the fucking server owner, they were like, "No, you just want their spot." I'm like, "Dude, I'm not even staff, and I don't want to be staff here." But they had a 42 question warn system. It was 42
What?
questions long. Every time you wanted to warn somebody, you had to fill out this fucking thing. It had 42 questions on it asking, like, did they break this rule? No. Did they break this rule? No. Well, what rule did they break? And then you tell them, and they're like, oh, that's not on this questionnaire, so.
Jesus.
Like, well, maybe you should put it on the questionnaire because. So there, the only people that could do prio was staff members. Like, obviously, like, you could rob shit, but the only person that could put it in is staff. Like, you'd have to go into OOC and be like, hey, prio starting, whatever, and staff would put it in and set the box is what we called it. But
Jesus.
they they warned one of my buddies from a server I used to co-own called Dade County RP. They warned him for not claiming priority. So I fucking screenshotted it and sent it to one of the staff directors, and they were like, "Well, if we trust our staff members, so." I was like, "Well, it's right here that he claimed prio. It's not his fault that you didn't put it in the system, or that your guys didn't put it in the system, or whatever." Yeah, I caused a lot of ruckus in that server just for fucking like here, if I'm like, "Hey, this is fucked up," everybody's like, "Oh yeah, we'll get that fixed, or we won't," whatever.
Right.
But fuck, man, I loved that server so much. So many good fucking people in there that left for the same bullshit reasons, and I just sent them all fucking invites. Obviously, I asked them if they were interested. Like two of them said no, but like fucking 20 was like, yeah, hell yeah, man, I'm looking for a server. I think I sent like 13 invites today.
Hell yeah. Oh shit, we're in trouble now.
Who's that guy?
Negative. Absolutely negative. Oh, yeah.
I tried to get server popping.
Yeah, I know. It seems like a lost cause tonight.
It's like Ray's talking. Tonight's a Wednesday. A lot of people go to church. A lot of people want to get up for school in the morning, work. But it's like I told
Yeah.
them, at least they weren't. At least our staff team wasn't like over there at the sheriff's department when we was all in Buckeye, getting those fucking hump day pictures.
Hump day. Oh, yes. Yes.
Tell them, Snipe. I told them. They act like they didn't believe me though.
Yeah.
He sent some pretty bad pictures, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Those videos. Those videos.
Oh no! Don't even speak of the videos.
Oh, yeah. Videos. It's
It's
like
make
a
me puke.
black men fuck fest.
Ugh.
That was
Oh, come
gross.
on now, Snipe. I was drinking my Dr. Pepper, brother.
That's what it was, though.
But yeah, we
I
ended
know
up
it
with like
was.
I want to say like 9:30.